This presentation is about analysis of an acquisition proposal between Large Corp Inc. and YS LLC. I will go to the first slide, which is agenda. I will break down this presentation into 4 sections. First one is problem statement. Second section is analysis on this proposal of acquisition. The third one is conclusion. And the fourth one is the recommendation I make towards this acquisition proposal. So I want to start by defining the problem here. So YS LLC is the AI startup that has been around for 3 years. This company was founded by me, and I'm currently the CEO of this company. And we received a proposal to acquire our company from Large Corp Inc., which is a very large OEM in the automotive industry. So there's a very there's a synergy between us and them bringing this product to the market. The board of directors would like to conduct a thorough analysis of the acquisition proposal and understand the implementation of this proposal and what it will bring to the company. So I will go to the second session, which is analysis of the proposal acquisition. So first of all, what is the process of the acquisition? So, from investor or from their perspective, from the Large Corp Inc. perspective, they have to come up with the acquisition strategy and acquisition criteria, and they will be searching for target. In this case, YS LLC is the target of this acquisition. So after that, we'll be starting to do acquisition planning, evaluating and valuing and evaluation, which means you have to decide what is the value of YS LLC, what is the money value that they will put on this acquisition. And the sixth phase of this acquisition is to negotiate the terms, go into details of what does that include and what is going to look like for the future of the two companies. And the seventh phase is due diligence. They will go into all the details of YS LLC and see if there are any red flags for them to go further. And finally, there will purchase and sales contract in place. The financing will be in place, and the last session is implementation, which closes the co-acquisition. I also want to talk about the critical business function that need to be analyzed during due diligence phase, which is the core of this acquisition. I break it down to a few areas that are very important to discuss. First of all, business development efforts of each company. Does it have synergy behind it? Do we have similar practices and go-to-market strategy, etc.? Also, we have to go to accounting department to go through the books and see if there's any red flags around the area. And also, research and development is very, very important in this process. Basically, they want to acquire our company because of the research and development we have done in the past 3 years in YS LLC. Therefore, the R&D is critical to this process, and we want to see if there's any what is the synergy, what kind of value can we bring to each company. And also, operations is also important. We want to see the operation routines of two different companies. How does it work after the acquisition? Human resource is another aspect of this due diligence. And finally, marketing, go-to-market strategy. What do we have in mind for our product to work with their expertise, and how do we make those two expertise merge and go to market together? The other part of analysis is a legal entity change. There's a lot of aspects going to be changed from LLC to become part of public trade company, part of the corp company. So we are currently pre-revenue. We have been in R&D phase for a long time. So once we are part of Large Corp Inc., they will be adding to their debt, I would say, because we don't have any revenue so far. Also, I would say that a lot of the IP have to be discussed. If we are a publicly traded company, how does it influence our company's IP and trade secrets. And finally, converting to LLC corporation, for me, personal liability protection will be the same, but there are differences in the way the corporation and LLCs are owned, governed, and taxed, and I will go to detail in my paper about those aspects. And the other part of analysis I want to talk about is structural and managerial changes. The reporting chain will be different. I used to be the CEO, now I have to report to the board of the Large Corp Inc., and I may have to do a lot of budgeting and be approved by them. The other managerial change is authority and autonomy. Since we will be part of the larger organization, as the CEO of this company, but it's subsidiary of the other larger company, I want to discuss what are the implications of it. Do I still have authority to most of the operational and budgeting and business decision making? The other part of analysis is governmental filing, because merger and acquisition is a very important and very complicated process. Here is a simple graphic of what does it usually entitle. And I will go into details of this filing process and what are the entity we're going to be dealing with in my paper. And finally, is it a good thing for us to go through this acquisition? I would say there are 3 areas I want to discuss. Finance-wise, we will be supported by a larger organization, which bring us from a startup mode to a very reliable financing process. Product development will be much easier since we'll have a large OEM and vehicle platform to work on our software on, and we will have unlimited resource for vehicle control, vehicle dynamics, and vehicle structuring, which is the essential part of self-driving technology. And finally, go-to-market strategy will be easier, and I would assume that they will have a larger market branding and recognition. Topping with our technology, the consumers or the larger organization who purchase this technology will be easier to adopt it. I want to talk about the conclusion from all the analysis I have mentioned. Overall, I would say it's a good deal to go forward with the acquisition from where we are now to where we're going to be becoming part of Large Corp Inc. I would say we'll be equipped with a lot of resources to make ourselves successful, to make the company successful, make the product successful. As an AI startup developing self-driving technology, it's essential to have an OEM partner to have a commitment and pouring their resources into the development of the product and have the commitment to bring through the product to the market together. Therefore, being part of the OEM is very, very beneficial for that very reason. It will be very, very good for our startup to do production based on their vehicle platform, and also go to market will be easier since they have a larger brand and they already have a sales channel that has been there for a very long time. However, we do not want to be overshadowed in the new organization, lose our autonomy. We want to keep our individual entity as we are. Definitely, we welcome the new guidance and new structure of the Large Corp Inc., but we do hope to keep it less intrusive for all of our employees as possible. At the very last, here are my recommendations for this acquisition. We need to be very careful during the negotiation process. We want to keep the company running with autonomy. As a startup with shorter history and shorter negotiation bargaining power, I want to make sure that our technology is valued, our voice is heard into this negotiation process. I want to make sure that we come out of the deal with a sound plan to go to market, with a sound plan for production, and with a sound plan to keep our current employees' value and shares not diluted. So that's my very first recommendation. And secondly, I want to make sure that we have very careful filing and handling of the whole process, as merger and acquisition normally is very scrutinized by SEC, and we want to make sure the company has a very good start. And finally, we hope to keep the structural and managerial aspect as much as possible to be the same. It will be less intrusive for our employees to handle the situation. It will, as for a startup like ourselves, it's very important for us to keep a stable environment and give faith to all the employees and make sure that they understand why it's important to become part of larger Corp Inc. We want to make sure all of the employees have good retention rate. We want to make sure that the employees are happy with the new organizational structure and their shares are not diluted. So that's the whole presentation today. I will go to details of all the aspects in my final paper. And thank you very much for watching.